大家好，欢迎来到 PUPU House Story Time。今天要和大家分享的故事是 The Princess and the Wizard 公主和巫师，是由 Julia Donaldson 和画家 Lydia Monks 共同合作的绘本。他们两位大师还有其他一系列的作品，我都相当推荐大家收藏哦。今天是和大家分享这一本以公主和巫师为题材的作品。在故事当中，我们可以看见有睡美人、灰姑娘等等经典童话的影子，但是不同于以往有王子拯救公主的情节，这一次公主要靠着自己解决所有的困难哦。就让我们一起看下去吧。The Princess and the Wizard 公主和巫师。It was Princess Eliza's birthday. She was just blowing out the 7 candles on her cake when a wicked wizard flew down the chimney and into the room. 在伊莱莎公主生日的这一天，当她正要吹熄蛋糕上7根蜡烛的时候，忽然有一个坏巫师从烟囱上飞进了房间里。Why didn't you invite me to your party? He thundered. 坏巫师就吼叫着说：“你怎么没有邀请我参加你的生日 party 呢？” Because wicked wizards like turning people to stone, replied Princess Eliza. 伊莱莎公主就回答说：“因为坏巫师喜欢把人变成石头。” So they do, said the wizard.And with a flick of his bony fingers, he turned the king, the queen, and all the party guests into stone. 坏巫师就说：“哼，说得没错。”他就弹了弹他瘦长的手指，把国王、皇后还有所有的宾客都变成了石头。Then he laughed a horrible laugh and said to Princess Eliza,They like capturing princesses too. 然后呢，这坏巫师就发出很恐怖的笑声，对伊莱莎公主说：“哈哈哈，坏巫师也很喜欢把公主抓走哦。” Just then, there was a whirring of wings, and in through the window flew the princess's fairy godmother. 就在这个时候，突然有翅膀拍打的声音哦，原来是公主的神仙教母从窗外飞进来了。原来她参加 party 迟到了。When she saw what had happened, she waved her wand and said,The princess may try 7 times to escape by changing her color and changing her shape. 当神仙教母看见派对上发生的事情之后，她就挥动了她的魔杖，急忙地说道：“公主可以透过变换各种的样貌还有颜色，还有她可以有7次逃跑的机会。” The wizard just laughed his horrible laugh and said, Changing her color and changing her shape will never help Princess Eliza escape. 这坏巫师呢，他只是发出了很恐怖的嘲笑声，然后就说：“嘿嘿嘿，变换各种的样貌和颜色也没有办法帮助公主逃脱的。” Then he snapped his bony fingers again and turned the fairy godmother to stone. 接着，坏巫师又弹了弹他那个瘦长的手指头，把神仙教母也变成了石头。The wizard whisked the princess up the chimney and carried her away to his tall, dark castle. 坏巫师他就抓着公主从烟囱飞走了。他把公主带到了一个又黑又高的城堡里。He locked her into the cellar where she cried herself to sleep. 他把公主锁在地窖里，公主就这样哭啊哭啊，就睡着了。The next day was Monday. The wizard unlocked the cellar door. He was holding a big red book, which contained all his magic. 隔天就是星期一，坏巫师打开了地窖的门，他手中拿着一本红色的很大本的书，上面有着坏巫师所有的魔法。This is your first chance to escape, he said. I shall count to 100, and then I shall come and find you. 坏巫师就对公主说，这是你第一次逃跑的机会，我数到100之后就会去找你哦。He opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count. 他就打开了他的书，闭上眼睛，开始数着。Princess Eliza ran outside. The moat of the castle shone blue under the blue sky. 伊莱莎公主就立刻跑了出去。她看见了城堡的护城河在蓝天的映照下发出了蓝色的光芒。She jumped into the water and turned herself into a blue fish. 公主就灵机一动，跳入了水中，把自己变成一条蓝色的鱼。98, 99, 100. The wizard opened his eyes, looked in his magic book and read, To find where Eliza is hiding from you, look in the moat for the fish that is blue. 98, 99, 100. 巫师就打开了他的眼睛，看了他的魔法书，然后念了书上写的字。要找到躲起来的 Eliza， 就要去找一找护城河里头一条蓝色的鱼。He fished Eliza out of the moat and took her to his kitchen, which was full of blue plates and pots and pans. They were all covered in dried up food. 坏巫师就把 Eliza 从护城河里头吊了起来，把她抓进了厨房。厨房里堆满了蓝色的锅碗瓢盆，上面全部都沾了食物的污渍。So, you like blue, do you? He said. Then set to work and wash. And he locked her in. 坏巫师就对他说，原来你喜欢蓝色是吧？那就好好的工作，把这些碗盘都给我洗干净。然后呢，他就把公主锁起来了。On Tuesday morning, the wizard unlocked the kitchen door. He looked at the clean plates and pots and pans, and he grunted. Chance number 2, he said. 隔天就是星期二的早上，坏巫师打开了厨房的门，他看着洗得干干净净的锅碗瓢盆，就哼了一声，说道：“第2次机会。” Then he opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count. 他就打开了他的书，闭上眼睛，开始数着。Princess Eliza ran to the farmyard. she turned herself into a yellow chick and hid in some straw. 这一次，伊丽莎公主她就逃到了一个农场里头，她把自己变成了一只黄色的小鸡，躲进了稻草堆里。But the wizard read in his book, "The straw in the farmyard is yellow and thick. Princess Eliza's disguised as a chick." 但是坏巫师又看着他的书，念道：农场里的稻草堆得厚又黄，公主把自己变成了一只小鸡。He scooped Eliza up and took her to a cupboard, which was full of yellow socks. They all had holes in them, made by his pointy toenails. 于是坏巫师就抓起了变成小鸡的公主，把她丢进了橱柜里头。那里堆满了黄色的袜子，每一只袜子都有一个一个的被坏巫师脚趾头弄破的洞。So, you like yellow, do you? He said. Then set to work and darn. And he locked her in. 坏巫师就说：哦，你喜欢黄色是吧？那就开始好好工作，开始缝吧。然后呢，就把公主又锁起来了。On Wednesday morning, the wizard unlocked the cupboard door, looked at the darned socks, and grunted. Chance number 3, he said. And he opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count. 星期三的早上，坏巫师打开了橱柜的门，看见已经被缝补好的袜子，就哼了一声，说道：第3次机会。他就打开了他的书，闭上眼睛，开始数着。Princess Eliza ran to the meadow. She changed herself into a green grasshopper and hid among the grass blades. 这次伊丽莎公主她跑到了草地里，她把自己变成了一只绿色的蚱蜢，躲在叶片上。But the wizard read in his book, "The grasshopper princess is easily seen, chirping away in a meadow so green." 但是坏巫师他又念了书上的文字，上面写着：在绿油油的草地里，很容易就可以找到那只变成蚱蜢的公主，正在吱吱吱地叫。He caught Eliza in a net and took her to his green bathroom. The bath, basin, walls, and floor were covered in the wizard's slimy toothpaste. 于是呢，坏巫师他就用网子抓住了伊丽莎，把她带进了一个绿色的浴室里头。浴室里的浴缸、洗手台、墙壁还有地板都沾满了黏糊糊的牙膏。So, you like green, do you? He said. Then set to work and wipe. And he locked her in. 坏巫师就说：哼，你喜欢绿色是吧？那就好好的工作，开始擦吧。然后呢，就把公主锁起来了。3 more days went by. Each day, the princess tried to escape. 然后又这样过了3天，每天公主都试着要逃跑。On Thursday, she turned herself into an orange fox and hid in a pile of orange leaves. 星期四，她把自己变成了一只橘色的狐狸，躲在橘色的叶子堆里。On Friday, she turned herself into a purple butterfly and fluttered among some purple flowers. 星期五，她把自己变成了一只紫色的蝴蝶，飞舞在紫色的花丛里。On Saturday, she turned herself into a black cat and lurked in a black tunnel. 星期六，她把自己变成了一只黑色的小猫，潜伏在黑色的隧道里。But each time, the wizard found her and gave her yet more work to do. 但是每一次，坏巫师都有办法找到她，而且给她更多、更沉重的工作。On Sunday morning, the wizard came on to the roof where Eliza had been scrubbing the sooty chimney pots. 到了星期天的早上，坏巫师来到了屋顶上，伊莱莎正在清理着脏兮兮的烟囱。Instead of grunting, he laughed his horrible laugh. "This is your last chance," he said.If I catch you this time, you must stay and work for me for the rest of your life. 这一次，坏巫师发出了恐怖的笑声，说道：“这是你最后一次机会了。如果再被我抓到，你这辈子都要留在这里为我工作了。” Then he opened his book, closed his eyes, and began to count.他就打开了他的书，闭上眼睛，开始数着。Princess Eliza turned herself into a white gull and flew up into a cloud. 这一次，伊莱莎公主决定要把自己变成一只白色的海鸥，她飞呀飞呀，躲进了白云里头。But as she hovered above the roof where the wizard was still counting, she saw words forming on the page of his open book. "So that's how he finds me," she cried. "I shall never escape." 当坏巫师闭着眼睛在数数的时候，盘旋在屋顶上的公主看见了坏巫师手上那本书出现的文字。他就大喊着：“啊，原来这就是为什么他总是可以找到我。这一次我不应该逃跑的。” Then she had an idea. She turned herself into a page of the wizard's book, a perfectly blank white page with no writing on it.公主就突然有了一个好主意哦，她把自己变成了坏巫师书本当中的一页纸，一页什么都没有写，空白的纸。98, 99, 100. The wizard finished counting and began to read his book.The princess turned into a bird in the sky. She hid in a cloud. Then she had one more try. 98, 99, 100. 坏巫师数完了，他就开始读着他的魔法书，上面写着：伊莱莎公主把自己变成了一只鸟，飞上了天空，躲入了云里。 然后他又再试了一次。That was the end of the page. The wizard turned over to read more, but there was no more. The next page in his book was blank and white. 然后呢，魔法书上就什么都没写了，是空白的。坏巫师急着翻了下一页来看看，但是还是空白的。He flew into a rage. "You stupid book!" he shouted, and hurled it into the moat. 坏巫师就超级生气地喊着：“你这个笨书！”他就把魔法书丢到了河里了。The book landed with a splash and sank to the bottom. All the wizard's magic was gone. 这魔法书呢，就扑通地掉入了水中，沉入了河底，然后所有坏巫师的咒语都消失了。At that moment in the palace, the king, the queen, and all the party guests came back to life. 同个时间，在城堡里头，原来变成石头的国王、皇后，还有所有的宾客都变回来了。Where is Princess Eliza? They asked each other. 他们互相的问着：“诶，公主跑到哪里去啦？” Nobody knew except the fairy godmother, and she only smiled and said nothing. 没有人知道公主去哪里了，除了神仙教母，但是她微笑着不说话。Princess Eliza had turned herself from a white page into a blue fish and was swimming to the edge of the moat. 伊莱莎公主把自己从一张白纸变成了一只蓝色的鱼，游到了护城河边。She turned herself into a yellow chick and ran across the corn in the farmyard. 然后她变成了一只黄色的小鸡，走过了农场的稻草。She turned herself into a green grasshopper and hopped over the grass. 她变成了一只绿色的蚱蜢，跳过了绿油油的草地。She turned herself into an orange fox and raced through the orange leaves. 她变成了一只橘色的狐狸，踏过了橘色的叶片。She turned herself into a purple butterfly and fluttered over the purple flowers. 她变成了一只紫色的蝴蝶，飞过了紫色的花丛。She turned herself into a black cat and streaked through the black tunnel. 她变成了一只黑色的小猫，穿过了黑色的隧道。Then she turned herself into a white bird and flew. 她变成了一只白色的海鸥，然后飞呀飞呀。All the way back to the palace and in through the window. 一路飞回了城堡，然后飞进了窗户里。She perched on a chair at the tea table and changed herself back into a princess. 她停在一张椅子上，然后把自己变回了公主。The king and the queen and all the party guests hugged her. 国王、王后还有所有的宾客都超级开心地拥抱着她。Then Princess Eliza cut her birthday cake and everyone had a slice. 然后呢，伊丽莎公主她就切了她的生日蛋糕，每个人都有一块哦。